My name is Mark Galvez, and I am a dot matrix animator.
My name is Mike Kizivad, and I'm a programmer.
I'm Wason, one of their programmers.
I'm Lonnie Rupp, I'm the director of software.
My name is George Gomez, and I'm Vice President of Game Development here at Stern Pinball. As Vice President of Game Development, all of the game development stuff is essentially my responsibility. I try to create a vision that everyone can follow in terms of what a Stern game is. You know, Avengers it's a super team and it's a super project.
I've been working with George on rules and features.
Lonnie's taken the lead.
Wason Chang will be coming online to do some of the dot matrix work. Mike Kizivat is doing a lot of the speech and narration and story plot. Mark Galvez!
Of course, we'll be doing dots.
We may have some more animators in this product. We've learned a lot from X-Men in terms of our audience loving the dot work on that, so we're going to try to take that up to the next level.
A lot of dots.
Yep. A lot of pixels. We're going to do a lot of hand-drawn stuff. The fans seem to like it.
There's also Mike Doble.
Mike Doble's a huge Avengers fan, so he took the lead on the Hulk.
I'm a mechanical engineer, project engineer. Basically what I do is I create mechanisms with gears, solenoids.
George Gomez was the one who designed the playfield.
I'm sort of stepping out of my role as Vice President of Game Development, and I'm the game designer.
I think what makes Avengers a good title for pinball is the emotion that they elicit, how they use their powers together to stop evil.
The Avengers movie was a huge blockbuster.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
It is an exciting theme.
It would be stupid for Stern not to make a game based on it.
I don't know what you cannot like about the Avengers.
I think I picked up my first copy of the Avengers in like 1965 when I was like 10 years old. I know the mythos of the Avengers pretty well. It's a property that is dear to my heart, so the Avengers was a pretty easy thing for me to fit into.
Because we're all basically comic book fans. George from the 60s, I myself from the 70s. The idea of having this project, you know, harken our childhood instincts.
Most of the concentration will be on the Avengers themselves.
Every character actually has a feature in the game.
Captain America,
Black Widow,
Hawkeye,
Hulk,
Iron Man.
Thor.
I think we would have Nick Fury in there somewhere.
Nick Fury is narrating, also doing call-outs to help you play the game.
This particular playfield has a different area associated to every Avenger.
Iron Man head, the Hulk fist, the Black Widow thing, and then some kind of arrow thing. The 4 Thor hammers, smoke, flame, explode, grapple, and the Hulk spell out, Captain America, Fury, Coulson, and Hill.
Where's Black Widow?
Black Widow's here, you see the the hourglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll geek out on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
The coolest gadget is Hulk.
I was really enamored of the Hulk.
Big Hulk.
The Hulk is definitely a big feature in the game. He's animated, he comes to life.
raises arms up and down.
He fights.
He'll smash a bunch of stuff.
He starts throwing stuff
The
around.
entire game shakes. He throws a ramp.
Throw the bridge up. This goes around here, and there's a continuation of the ramp. This portion of the ramp stays fixed. This goes up over his head, and now you get to fight on him.
My project assignment was basically a combination of a mechanized Hulk using solenoids and a bridge which the Hulk lifts using a DC motor.
You know, as you hit him with the ball, he'll be pounding on the playfield. You know, we'll be hitting the shaker motor when he does it. Hulk make shot.
You know, I don't know how many motors and coils in
The
it.
struggle in the Avengers is to control the power of the Tesseract.
3D version of the Tesseract or Cosmic Cube.
It is this incredible energy source. Everyone wants it for a different
It
reason.
allows us to do some rules with spinners that spin in multiple directions.
At times, it's going to be associated to your foes, and at times, it's going to be associated to you. Just like in the film, the power of the Tesseract affects both sides of the equation.
The bad guy is Loki.
Loki is Thor's brother.
He's the Norse god of mischief.
Banished from Asgard.
Adopted son that kind of turned bad.
He's a jerk because his father favors Thor over Loki.
And he acts out.
It's a very classic comic book villain. His goal in life is to rule the world and create havoc.
And eventually everything happens in New York where there's a big battle. Portal is open from outer space. That's the final mode for our game.
Most challenging task.
Trying to get the likenesses as close as possible.
The biggest challenge is doing justice to each and every one of the Avengers.
Some of the characters on the game have mechanical devices on them, so that's much easier to articulate them and do things.
I want 3 times more real estate. I want, 10 times more stuff. And the Hulk was an obvious choice for an LE model simply because the character is so cool and so well loved. He's the most popular of all the Avengers.
Very imposing figure.
He's green.
He stands out.
What makes Hulk stand out is he doesn't really care. He's just gonna tear through whatever, you know.
Hulk has a very long history from the TV shows to the movies. On top of that, Hulk just made a very great toy, able to move around in the playfield, change the playfield around.
Pinball's all about action and movement and kinetic energy. That's Hulk.
It was an obvious choice.
My project assignment was basically a combination of a mechanized Hulk using solenoids and a bridge which the Hulk lifts using a DC motor. What it does in the game, the bridge lifts and then the Hulk does a little dance. This is the Hulk. What you have here is a couple solenoids driving a pivot shaft. This assembly would have been very, very complicated if this design was done a certain way. So what I did was I did a shaft within a shaft driven mechanism. You have your subassembly here, which basically fits to a lower assembly, which attaches to the lower playfield. I'll make it dance a little bit. There you go. So it just rotates a little bit. The magic basically is underneath here. What happens with the motor, with the bridge, it's basically a DC motor mounted on a frame with a linkage which drives the upper assembly of the bridge. If I rotate this, like so, it'll affect the bridge. It goes up and down. And the Hulk does his little dance.
The Hulk LE will have the green armor,
Hulk-centric artwork.
green display.
There's all kinds of green illumination.
Everything will be in Hulk Jade Giant Green.
Both LEs have mirrored back glasses. The Hulk back glass is very themed to Hulk. The Avengers LE uses this blue metallic trim, Avengers through and through. The LEs are chock full of stuff.
Well, if you're an Avengers fan, having any type of Avengers game is great to you, especially one that will be true to the theme.
Pinball people will like it because I think it's got some new stuff in it and some stuff that they haven't seen in a long time.
There's a lot to like in the game.
It's very attractive when you walk up to it. It's just a gorgeous looking game. As soon as you hit the start button, you're engaged in this tense situation. We pull you in, and as you play the game more and more, and then lose, you'll want to finish that story and see how it unfolds.
The playfield is fun in and of itself. Don't put any art on it, don't turn on any features. It's a fun machine to flip. And then you add into that the interactive toys and all of the different stuff that's in it. I think the Avengers is a must-have collectible. This one feels really special to me.
What's it like working with George?
He really involves us. Even while we were working on X-Men, he'd have little meetings. He'd show us what he's got so far, and he'd say, you know, what do you think of this? The physicality of the playfield helps create the rules. It's important to, I think, involve the programmer.
George and Lonnie is like those relatives, those uncles that try to be cool, but they really aren't.
I worked with George for a few years now. He's very in tune with the design of the game.
Well, in Transformers, George Gomez would say, you know, my side, what was it called?
He loves toys.
Oh, George we used to call us Cybertronian brothers. So now, I don't know what he'd be calling us.